Valentine Bourbon is coming out, and she has been identified and hailed as one of the strongest to ever do it. But does that mean that you should actually pull for her? Maybe, maybe not. I'm gonna talk about some reasons why you may wanna pull for her, and also a lot of reasons why you probably shouldn't, at least in my view. Now, Valentine's Bourbon has a lot going for her besides her appearance. She has easy stat growths, which are going to be pretty handy for most tracks, most aptitudes. She can run a lot of different tracks. She can run short, mile, medium, and long, which is pretty good. She's gonna struggle with dirt a little bit, but in theory, you can make her work for that. And obviously, she's primarily a front runner. Now that is where things get a little bit tricky and debates on if you should actually pull her, but we'll get into that. From my point of view, her kit is really strong, right? She comes with Escape Artist, groundwork, which is kind of the primary thing that a lot of people care about because then you don't have to grind for groundwork anymore. And then concentration. Even though, most people probably aren't gonna buy the gold concentration anyway, still, you get it. You can also get these skills from events: early lead, speed eater, final push, straightaway acceleration. Everything in her kit is pretty damn good. I mean, there's not really a downside to her kit. So in theory, yeah, that's why she's super strong, because her kit just kind of comes with everything that you need as a front runner. Now, the only downside is she cannot use her own card, so she does not get taking the lead, and she gets instead early lead, which is the white version of it. But in the end, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that dramatically different. And if you have early lead and groundwork, you're still going to be ahead of most of the front runners, at least on global, because people kind of suck at making front runners on global. Which brings me to my first point. If you are pulling her just for meta, well, then you have to ask yourself, are you ready to build 2 front runners every single time? Because the strategy for front runners is essentially you need another front runner to kind of keep the pace up. Otherwise, if you're only running one front runner, you're gonna kind of struggle. And you have to kind of gamble that another front runner in the lobby will be there, but then you have to gamble that their 2 front runners aren't gonna overtake you, and then you just fall behind, and then Valentine Bourbon is a waste. So if you wanna pull for a meta that's a front runner, well, you have to ask yourself, do you like building fronts? Because if you do, great. She's a good pull, she's a great pull, she's one of the strongest front runners. If you don't like building fronts, then she's just gonna sit in your box, and she's not going to be as good as she could be, and that's the problem. So the second part of that is, do you have this one? Now, if you have Seiyun Sky, then it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to build on the front runners. If you don't have Seiyun Sky, we're gonna be stuck on borrowing Seiyun Sky for most of your fronts. And that's gonna be another struggle. So if you have Seiyun Sky, it's probably a much easier pick. Now, of course, you can choose her with the selector coming up, but if you don't have Seiyun Sky, you have to ask yourself, do you want to struggle with borrowing Seiyun Sky? I know you get 5 borrows now, but you're going to be borrowing her for both fronts, and then it's just a lot easier if you have her on your own. Now, if you're like me, you may have an allergy to meta. Now, I'm not in love with chasing meta, and I don't really necessarily like pulling only for the good Umas just because they're strong. I'd rather pull for people that I actually like. Now, of course, you can like Valentine Bourbon. Her kit and her outfit look pretty good. But for me, I don't like running in races where every character is pretty much the same. It just gets too stale, and it's not unique enough, and it's just not fun. So I like choosing who I want to choose to run, and I just kind of make it work. If you're like that, well, you're probably going to see a bunch of other Valentine Bourbons on pretty much almost every single CM from here on out. And just like Christmas Ogre, you're going to be seeing them a lot, and that's just kind of the reality of it. Now, if you don't like seeing a bunch of other people use your Uma, well, it may not be the pick for you. But if you don't mind it, well, then she's probably still a good pick. Now, the last part of this equation is, if you pull for Valentine Bourbon, are you going to want to pull on somebody else that's coming up? So Medjero Arden is coming up. Now, the next big cards aren't coming up until Fine Motion, and Fine Motion comes out in 2 weeks, around a similar time when Mant comes out. So if you were going to be pulling on something like Naruto Top Road or Fine Motion, well, then you have to ask yourself, one, obviously you're not going to restore your carrots in time, just naturally, in 2 weeks. So if you pull on Bourbon and don't get lucky, are you going to be sad that you're missing out on Fine Motion? Are you going to be sad that you're missing out on Kitasan Black? Are you going to be sad that you're missing out on Naruto Top Road? Now, of course, these are not must pulls, and Mant changes things a lot where, your deck is not going to be so dependent on just 1 or 2 strong cards. But if you are wanting those cards, because they are very good, and Fine Motion maybe a little bit more than NTR, it's a debate, right? Because you only have 2 weeks until that all kind of changes. Now, if you're lazy and skipped ahead and you want the final summary, the idea is, are you comfortable with building fronts? Do you have same sky? Do you like chasing meta? And then are you gonna wanna be pulling on any cards that are coming up soon for man? Maybe, I don't know, I can't tell you. One, I'm not gonna be pulling a V Bourbon, even though I do like your kit and I don't mind building front runners. I don't have same sky, even though I'll probably pull it on the selector ticket. I just rather save some of my carrots right now for somebody else. So, it's up to you. I don't know. You tell me. Are you going to be pulling on her or not? She's good. I like her. Her outfit's good. So let me know.